The next one is from Johnny Nitro. Is this Johnny Mundo? John Morrison? Subject. You said shoot you a topic. Here it is. All right, here we go. AEW. I had such high hopes for that company, but when they gave the belt to Jericho, even I loved wrestling the most in WC. It was a wrong. They had 4 guys, Omega and Cody and Young Bucks. Let them have the belt. They made it happen. But anyways, topic. Sat down watching, and I'm old school too, but love hearing you guys talk old times. But I also give new shit a chance every 5 or 6 years. I study new music and what the kids are into because I'm a dad and want to know what's the trend. But AEW giving the man or woman's championship shits on all girls that gave their life to wrestling and gave up shit to be in that company. It's not fair that a man can say I'm a woman and I should be able to wrestle women and take their belt. A woman is not going to go to WWE and beat Brock and become the man's champ. Even with Becky being woman's champ and calls herself the man is so dumb. Well, it's also not fair that women have to wrestle a guy. Guys are stronger and it's just not right. It's just like me saying I am Batman because I paid for a Batman suit and car. You would look at me and say, you're not Batman. I would say, I am Batman. I have the suit and the car, and I feel like Batman because I have all this stuff. I'm a superhero. No difference say I have a dick, but I'm a girl because I say I am. You have to what I'm saying. You should just do a show about it. I watch you guys in Cornette Gym for like a years or so, for years, and Gym 5 months. But I thought the way you guys are both on the same page about all the new shit going on, how both you guys don't like it. It was like Conan and Disco and Cornette are going to flip the F out. This wouldn't happen back in the day. The big part is the girls in WCW were complaining about their belt just being called Women's Championship and how that guy's over sexist and don't treat women fair. But AEW has a man as a woman's champ, and WWE has a woman that calls herself the man. If that's okay, it's like, how are they okay with that? Just effing nuts. I think, please bring back WCW 1996 to 1998. All right, I'll say this about this because this topic is we've talked about this before. I'm pretty clear, but I want to say this. It's like, what is, in you guys' opinion, what is the end game for stuff like this? Because like you're seeing women, like transgender women are compete against the women just by saying they're women and stuff, and they're kind of infiltrating sports. You have women competing against men. Okay. So here's my thing, and this is what I say, like people that think that the women are equal to them, I don't even know what they mean by that. They say equal to men, equal performers, equal whatever. But here's the reality of men and women's competitions with each other. It's a few integrated sports. There was no women's sports, there was no men's sports. It was all intergender, and everybody signed up. You picked teams, everything. Good people. Is there anybody that would disagree that 95% of the women would be riding the bench, maybe 1 or 2 would be good enough to be better than the guys, and would they end up just competing? Well, I mean, if you had men and women, took all the athletes and put them all, drew from that pool, they're all together, how many women would be on the field playing? I'm asking you guys a question.
I think you just have to look at the difference in the skills of the players between the NWA and the WNBA. I mean, I think you could take...
Here's how dumb people are, okay? Is they'll show a clip of that chick kicking a 55-yard field goal or whatever it was, the soccer player, right? What was her name? The one that did that? Did you see that, Conan?
Yeah.
Okay. So then all of a sudden, because one girl kicks a 55-yard field goal, everybody's like, oh, look at that. Like, they get this notion in their head, like, look, the women can compete against the men. Like, what are you talking about? Just because one girl kicked a 55-yard field goal? It's like, let's line up 100 other girls and try to kick a 25-yard field goal. It's like, they won't be able to do it. You know what I'm saying? It's like we get these false impressions from things that happen, and it's just we ignore the reality of the situation. And the reality is very clear. The women are not as good as men in sports, period. It's just that, and I'm sorry, just based on the example I gave you, that if we integrated sports, the women would all be riding the bench and the men would be on the field. And that's anybody would try and argue that, I'd be arguing with the person that's not arguing logically. Would you agree?
Well, here's the problem, bro. When you say that to a feminist or snowflake or a woman, or, they're like, oh, look, he's trying to, but it's the truth,
Yeah. It's just like, they're trying to, and like to people like us, it's
I
like,
mean, if you want to, you're like, we're all for equality. Yeah, you can be on the field if you're better than somebody else, not just because you're somebody else. You know what I'm saying?
And you'll find women athletes that are exceptional that could probably compete with the guys because they're that exceptional. It's like, it's they're exceptional, which means they're a very, 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 very small percentage of them.
But here's the thing, bro. But here is the thing. What is it going to look like in 100 years? Maybe there's going to be a lot of exceptional women that can play sports. You know what I'm saying?
People don't even realize this. This is how dumb people are.
Men's sports.
Well, when you go to school, maybe people forget about this because it was such a long time ago. Back when you're like 5, 6, 7, and 8 years old, the boys and the girls did compete against each other because they're all roughly the same size. They're all children. They're all adolescent, something. But as they got older and started to mature, we divided them because now the men were physically superior. They were physically stronger than the women, so we had to split them up.
We were reducing testosterone.
Right. So we split them up, and it's like, what do you want to do? To bring it all back around and have them come back together? Just keep the boys and the girls playing with each other when they're learning the games at that age. They're kids. They're like 6 and 7 years old. We're learning the rules. I'm all out there. They can't, But as you get older, it's like, it's just, to me, the other side of this argument is just like the dumbest people arguing it. It's like you're arguing people. It's just like, and they're still arguing with you and arguing it and arguing. And you go like, stop it already. That's the way I look at it.